Hey everyone, sorry for the delay. How's it going? I'm quickly going to delete one here that I think I mistakenly put out. Let's turn this one off. This stream is not supposed to be happening. Hey there, Hal. Jump scare. Alright, how you all doing? I hope you're good. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, that's unfortunate. But I do hope that you get a good shift. Stuffed and relaxed. Did you celebrate Easter? Well, that's a few days ago, but some people still have a food coma after that. So I guess it will be understandable. Somehow I managed to avoid it. So I'm pretty happy about that. We have questions about the ocean's ability to soak people and being a solar sorcerer. He's a Hamon user. Wow. Okay, elaborated JoJo reference at the beginning of the stream. This can only turn good. Right, on today's menu, I might do a little bit of gaming there by the end with a slight old game, but the Internet Historian has something today. Also, a few gaming stuff that I also want to check. So, but first, given that I put out a video on male issues recently. Hey there, Abaddon. Doing good, at least relatively good. I have some sleep issues at the moment that are not that good. My narcolepsy is kind of annoying me, so... but I'm working on it. Anyways, back to the main subject. I put out a video recently regarding male self-deletion, and I appreciated the many good responses that I got from it. And there's a little one here coming from a channel that I appreciate quite a bit. I wouldn't necessarily call him a fitness influencer, although some may see him that way, but... he is pretty down to earth in comparison to a bunch of others out there. He's called James Smith. You may have heard of him before. A cool bloke, but there's a video from him that I wanted to check out as we start the video. At least the stream. So let's give him a look.
I bet you don't even realize the impact that social media has on your perception of the world and how you see it on a daily basis. From what we eat, how we see our bodies, our sex lives, unreal expectations, and even the chances of being bitten by a shark in the sea next time you visit Australia. According to social media, Hasbulla and I are secretly best friends. I'm going to explain the 6 biggest issues that I see when it comes to social media and some of the things that we can do proactively to stop them ruining our lives. Number 1, orthorexia. Although this has been going on for many years,
Quick pause. Internet Historian has a disclaimer at the beginning of the video, basically just saying that to wait 48 before uploading reactions. Yes, I always do. I always do wait the 48 hours. I was just thinking that perhaps streaming it and not re-uploading the video might still work. But we'll see eventually. Or I just have to make a stream here on Sunday. Anyways, yeah, I'm doing well, thank you, Mr. Frost. Alright, orthorexia was the point that he brought up here, which is the... oh, I know this word. It is the constant desire to eat well. No, not crying. She's actually pretty happy. She's been the entire day dancing around, having a swell time. If I am not uploading in the next few weeks, just as a notice, I might make a community note. It is because I am going to be spending a bit more time with my family, and also because I'm planning on making a review for Dragon's Dogma 2. So if uploads are very slow, perhaps just a single one, you know, those of you who are here.
"2023 saw Liver King explode to socials. He was claiming natty status, and his principles were the 9 ancestral tenets, which I'm sure had good meaning. But it turned out that Liver King, Brian Johnson, was a lying piece of shit. Behind his multi-million-dollar empire based on improving lives with supplementation regimes was excessive steroid and growth hormone use, which actually borderlines more of abuse. In a bid to grow his business to the largest possible heights, he had to deceive millions of people to get there. 2024 saw a brand new meme page, Eddie Abu. Like Liver King, people...
Some of the worst. It is weird to me how we have this fad that we have often talked about with women, but we tend to ignore it when it comes to us guys. The whole of, oh, this is what you're supposed to be consuming all the time. Because that's what orthorexia is. The constant consumption of what is supposed to be healthy, but it never truly is, because this is coming from some people who are peddling nonsense. This guy, for one, was a massive steroid abuser. The stuff destroyed his muscles, gave him a bunch of injuries, and now he's on some sort of crusade against even basic supplementation like whey protein. He says that it's like the devil's work or something. It's so strange. Have I played Helldivers? Yes, I have, but only for a little bit. My life has unfortunately been consumed by what I could have mustered to do with Dragon's Dogma. So that will come first. I will perhaps make a reaction to Brickies. As far as I've gotten into the game, I can understand a lot of it. But yeah, let's focus a little bit on the fitness stuff here. I will respond to the rest afterwards.
Flock to something that must be novel, that must be superior to just exercising more and having a more balanced diet. The more crazy, the more insane the character is, the more we just cannot resist flocking to that rather than just sensible advice that's backed by science. And in the space of a year, we went from eating testicles and living primal to labeling the majority of foods as shit and abolishing anything that isn't meat and eggs as being terrible for your health. You may even recall that Eddie Abu recently said that if you're depressed, it's because of your diet. So if you're out there on antidepressants and you're thinking about ending it all, just eat meat and eggs. According to Eddie, depression is all diet-based. Not only that, you'll also recall that last week, Eddie made a point that you shouldn't be tired in your 20s. So for any of you NHS workers that are doing night shifts and doing 18-hour days, just eat better, you idiots. Thanks, Eddie. Carnivores have actually been doing this for years, but Eddie's found a knack of doing it in a more viral way. Eddie comes from a background of extreme drug abuse as a very high-end bodybuilder, and I'll tip my hat to Eddie. And even though he was taking grams of gear a week and probably shortened his life by decades, he was good at that. But someone that bodybuilds to that level and gets in them skimpy underwear to tense on stage to impress another bunch of blokes, they crave some sort of attention.
Yeah.
So you must ask yourself, are these values that Eddie, purports true to his beliefs, or like Liver King, is this a ploy to grow his financial position to the best position possible?
Of course it's financial. Like, there are no... He has no legitimate proof of anything. The same with Liver King when he was asked about his drug abuse, telling people to just trust me, bro. Like, the man looked straight up as if he had ab implants. I stripped in front of you on camera when I was designing my, well, at least I took my shirt off when I was designing my character for Dragon's Dogma, and you got to see my physique. This is what you achieve for 12 years of training. The way that I look, and I look relatively decent. And that's just by working almost every day, working out. I have a 5-day routine that I do in the morning. And mind you, while I keep a relatively good diet, I am not exempt from drinking sodas. Granted, this one is without sugar. And having a piece of chocolate next to me if I'm feeling the cravings. I do that too. Like, I do not understand what this extreme desire of perfectionism, which, by the way, you cannot attain those things, but this crazy thing that are peddling is coming from. It makes no sense. Yes, that was hot. Well, thank you. Yeah, it makes no sense. And I also, additionally to this man's point, regarding Idi Amin's point there with the whey protein, I do believe that he said, do your own research when he was asked for proof of whether or not whey protein was so bad for people. Like, listen to this type of stuff that they're peddling. It's so dumb.
Possible, because it's estimated that Eddie's making over £50,000 a month educating people in subjects that are not backed by science. He even insists that the insulin hypothesis, which has been debunked a lot, numerous times, with a plethora of studies, that insulin is the driver of weight gain, and that if you want to lose weight, you need to control your insulin, not your calories. He debunks energy balance. He actually disputes that calories are not even a thing. Eddie...
Okay, this man has to go. Calories are not a thing. And focuses on insulin. Nah. This man has to go. Absolutely not. What a psycho. Do I drink coffee? Yes, I actually drink. Matter of fact, I had a extreme high coffee consumption back in university. My first 3 university years was terrible. So if we have any Dane in the chat, you will know of the Danish Technical University, or University of Technology of Denmark. In there, at its main hall, it is divided like a coordinate system. The main hall of that place has a cafeteria where you can have a refill of, let's say that this is my coffee can. Usually, I would have a much larger one, but for the equivalent of $1, you can fill that up with coffee. Imagine the drive that students had in that university. People will sober up after a night of drinking by just going to that cafeteria over and over again and fueling themselves up with coffee. It was so unhealthy. So yeah, I drank coffee, and I've started actually... I don't know, like going through some sort of detox from consuming caffeine. So a monster can like this can actually knock me out, because first, I have narcolepsy, gotta point that out again. So when the downward spiral of consuming the coffee, the highs of it, wears off, that's when it actually feels bad. And also, it gives me the runs. So I think that I'm on a good level right now when it comes to the caffeine consumption. Drugs are bad, stop coffee. I mean, in decent... everything in moderation is the best way to do it. Cold brew. Well, okay, I gotta admit, I can do both.
He goes head to head with thermodynamics, and there are millions of people that back him because they're idiots. Now, I get that Eddie's message is backed by well-meaning, but so is Liver King's. And I'm sure that thousands of lives, maybe even millions of lives, are better off with his content. They're probably eating better. They're probably having less ultra-processed foods, which has always been the main principle of what I preach: to improve your diet, exercise more, and lose fat. My biggest gripe with Eddie is this. He seems to say that diet is everything. But I'd say there are 3 tiers that we need to prioritize when it comes to improving our health: cardiovascular fitness, the amount of fat we have, the quality of our diet. Whereas Eddie just focuses on one, Sometimes when working with obese populations, getting them to change their diet is actually the hardest part. So getting them to reduce the amount of calories coming in, which can be done with a poor diet, will cause them to lose fat, which actually benefits their health. Also, we can improve their cardiovascular fitness.
Yep.
So there are 2 out of 3 means that we can improve someone's objective health markers without improving their diet. That's not to say I don't want to improve their diet, but we need to be nuanced and see what we can do with that client.
Think about an extremely obese person. You, for example, cannot reduce their diet down to a level that is going to be too drastic for them. So you have to work on the cardiovascular system. You need to have the heart do some work, either through lifting weight or doing body weight exercises to a certain level. But they should still be consuming a decent amount of calorie from quality food to at least get them used to consuming something else but the junk. Like, there's not a single solution for just staying healthy. Just like myself, I like to bike because I've gotten to a certain weight where it actually aches my joints if I decide to go for more than, let's say, a 30-minute run. So I have to bike instead because of the body weight that I carry. But if I shrink down and start doing a lot more cardio, sure, I could do the other. But I still need that because I want to feel well. I want to be able to move. I don't want to feel tired from just jogging. I did a 4-day before and it's got so weird. Glory to us bikers. Hell yeah, brother. No, I have not played Snow Days. To my understanding, the game is not as bad as some feared. Weren't you the one who was fearing that Snow Days was going to be terrible?
Because everyone can eat healthy for 2 weeks and they go back to their old habits. Am I right? Now, I know a lot of you are going to be in Eddie's defense, probably in the comments going, yeah, we know that Eddie can't really read or assess research papers or understand literature, but he's trying to save lives. He's doing this with people's best interests at heart, and I completely agree. But if we are to stray away from objective truths in a bid to save lives, where does this end? Because if you support that notion, then that's just a bit like agreeing with what the governments did in the pandemic when they claimed vaccines were a lot more safe than they actually were because it was in a bid to save lives. If you can be dishonest, as long as people's best interests are at heart, where does that stop? You then open a door to a place that we don't want to go. So many of you are up in arms that the government lied to us in one hand whilst trying to protect us with the other. Yet when their favorite influencer goes into supermarkets and just makes stuff up, that's completely fine. Eddie's content actually used to be super reasonable. He's now a product of the people egging him on, pardon the pun. Here's a video of Eddie.
Mind you, him saying that does not mean that vaccines do not work. Okay? Some people are gonna listen to that and misinterpreting what he just said.
Back in the day where he's a lot more sensible.
Now when you got something like lentils, it's like getting protein out of bread. It's just pointless.
His stances on things are a lot less polarizing, and he's a lot actually closer to an...
I'm sorry, I need to listen to that again.
It's just pointless.
There's a video of Eddie back in the day where he's a lot more sensible.
Now when you got something like lentils, it's like getting protein out of bread. It's just pointless.
Oh, I see.
His stances on things are a lot less polarizing, and he's a lot actually closer to an evidence-based standpoint on nutrition. But unfortunately, that doesn't bang millions of views. The further you go from the objective truth, the easier it is to get people as part of your cult, and therefore make lots of money from it. Look at the Mormons or Scientology. Pretty sure they make more money than Christianity, and their story is whack.
Well, except for these pastors who peddle cryptocurrency, they make a lot of money from the church participants. But also, a small, simple thing. How often do you think, well, at least how popular do you think that a fitness influencer would be if they truly showed you what they did for the actual effective workout that they went through? Because I swear to God, it is the most boring thing that you can imagine. Like, I can show you my routine real quick. I have a... Jesus. Can I pull this up? I have a thing here called fitness program. I have on my day 1, perhaps you guys can see that if my camera is willing to focus on it. So I have about 6 exercises that I go through. Same thing goes for the next day, and for the next day, and for the next day. I do that for like 5 days, right? From Monday to Friday, I have from training from different muscle groups that I do about 2 exercises per set. No, that doesn't make sense. Sorry, 2 exercises of supersets that I continue doing for like 4 sets and about 15 to 20 reps or so. And I can't see shit. Yeah, I will put that up later on. The point that I'm trying to get at, perhaps I can find it on my Google Google Drive here instead. The point that I'm trying to get at is that program is extremely boring. Because if I were to show it to you, it would be so repetitive that it would be annoying. So, for example, day 1, right? I do wide pull-ups for like 50 reps. I do 50 reps of that just to warm up with alternating grips. So I go and do some seated cable rows, 1-arm cable rows, bend over rows, hyperextension, so on and so forth. Move on. The same thing with chest day. And later on, the same thing with leg day. And later on for shoulders. On the Thursday and Friday, I actually train arms if I am willing to train arms. I hate training arms. I have naturally big arms from my mom. So I usually don't like to train them. The point is that this is what I've been doing for 12 fucking years. Except for the times when like bodybuilder friends, CrossFitter friends or calisthenic friends invite me over to train. That's where there's an exception to the rule. But it's so basic. Imagine them, an influencer, having to show you the same thing over and over and over again with just different outfits. You wouldn't want to look at that because it's boring. It's the same shit. So they wouldn't get anything or anywhere from just being repetitive and telling you just how boring it is. It has to be as extravagant as possible because people do not understand that the simple stuff is actually what works. There's no miracle. Goku wants your location. You just have to state that you're strong, right? Then you'll hear, "Hey, it's me, Goku."
Which brings me on to number 2, body image issues and the algorithm. Everyone nowadays wants to be a fitness influencer because it pays well and you can work remote from a laptop in Bali. But out of the tens of thousands of people doing it, only the most confident, best looking, best physiqued ones will stop you in your tracks. Your eyes may admire the male or female physiques, then boom, you are done. The algorithm then knows that you want to see more of that. The more younger, the more chiseled. Anyone not in that top 1% shape, you'll swipe past. Before you know, your feed is curated with the best, the top of the algorithm of these fittest, best looking babes. And every time you go on your phone, you're just flocked and you can't stop looking at them and you try swiping away, but the algorithm knows what you're doing, knows you like the babes. Sharing it into the boys group chat doesn't, what? Imagine if I was to get the top 10,000 business owners and then I said, hey, let's just go mingle with the top 50 of those. You'd then feel that your own entrepreneurial talent was not even worth pursuing. But in any cohort of humans, if you look at the top 1%, you're gonna feel damn depressed from it. You must realize that every time you go on social media, you are skimming the top percentile of winners. It's not reality, it's not real life. Which brings me on to number 3, dating.
That's
this fantastic guy.
That's absolutely true. I've been on the same program for a year and a half and making tracking progress easier, which is ultimately what matters. Exactly. That's what matters. You don't need to do anything extravagant, really. I would recommend alternating things if you actually want to push something for growth. As an example, there are occasional days where I will, for example, during the weekend, I go and train an extra muscle group. For example, my legs. I want to have them grow a bit more, so I started following certain Olympic lifting programs with the 1 rep max. So I go to that extent of pushing forth, and it works. But that's because I have a specific goal that is beside just my health. Sorry to bother for a question in my previous message. Was that regarding the spelling of my name or what? Is it true that the state of energy deficit organism try to remove energy costly issues? Costly tissues, muscle first. Yes, it is. Because again, if both things funnily enough, in our bodies as well as the bloody galaxy, just want to have an easy life. We always look for the shortcuts, just like electricity always search for the shortest path. So anything that requires more energy is needless. So they want to remove that first. It also works that way. Yes, that is correct. That's why sometimes when it comes to recovery, you are going to have to very much assess or plan how you deal with your sleeps and what muscle group you think you are going to be able to recover faster from. As an example, I will forever have achings in my back. It is the one muscle group that I almost use all the time. And I have had to, train my body to adjust accordingly. Anyways, yes, the 1% thing there, absolutely correct.
Guy called Rory Sutherland, who did a podcast with Chris Williamson, and he makes an exceptional point about recruiting, talent, and dating. And here's a clip of Rory Sutherland, by the way. Big credit to Modern Wisdom Podcast too. I know I'm business partner with Chris, but his guests have been exceptional recently.
I don't think a still photograph and a few words of text are in any way a proxy for who you might forge a long-term relationship with.
Rory makes a fantastic point that when you're recruiting, an HR department often won't see anyone who on their CV doesn't have a 2-1 and above, which is a grade at university. And the issue with that is there is a lot of talent out there that just didn't want to go to university or that didn't get a 2-1, myself included. I flunked out in my first year because I just hated it. Doesn't mean I'm not intelligent or I'm not capable. My multiple businesses should be credit to that. Just because I don't want to sit in a room for an hour and a half and recite boring topics of medicine through time and scribble it on bits of paper doesn't mean I'm stupid. So it's kind of ridiculous that people hiring graduates for their first job would overlook the majority of people. Not to mention, the amount of men going to university is massively dropping. If you only set a 2-1 as a prerequisite for hiring, you're going to leave a lot of talent on the table. And if all recruiters are all looking for the same 2-1 and above, loads of talent doesn't get a look in, the rest of the talent is all being fought over. And we see the same issues with dating. And this again is Rory's point. The same way that just setting a prerequisite for a 2-1 to hire someone for a job makes the same mistake as in dating apps, just using a picture and a bit of text to try and pick someone that's ideal for dating. Rory makes a fantastic point that Cameron Diaz and Jennifer Aniston wouldn't be supermodels. They just don't have the look. But because it's the way they move, it's the way they interact, it's the way they sound, it's seeing them on video that makes you realize their beauty. The same goes for different characters.
I agree, actually. That's a fun point. I don't know, maybe not so much with Jennifer Aniston, but I remember in the first days when I discovered Charlie's Angels, I think that we were No. With a five buddies, 2 girls, 3 guys. We had like a movie night of we were watching like marathoning like supposedly bad movies back in our teens, and I think that I was the only one who actually liked the looks of Cameron Diaz. The others were just staring at her, thinking to themselves, why is she portrayed as like the sex symbol amongst the 3 of them, at least the one who was a bit more frivolous and more chased after? And I couldn't quite get it until I showed a picture later on. I remember like a complete coincidence to some other people, and they said the same thing. Like, she is not necessarily the look that you want to have on some people, but it's her mannerisms, the way that she acts. She's just odd enough for people to appreciate and to love, because we have associated her with like that lovable personality that we actually think that she's hot. The same thing for a lot of influencers. There are some that are absolutely banging out there and are what I would consider to be like the ideal look for, personally, okay, my own personal standpoint, I like muscular women. But because of their attitude, I get so revolted by them. It's strange. And like that, it goes both ways. Like a person can be extremely attractive, but personality sets them off completely, and vice versa. A person that is not so good looking can be absolutely nice, and it pushes them all the way up to a 10. At least that's how I see it.
There's different men, different women all over the world. People that look good in photos and people that look good in video are very different. And from my experience with dating, those that look best on the pictures look like a sack of potatoes in real life, and some that look like a sack of potatoes in the pictures turned out to be beautiful in real life. And if we rely on just social media apps, we are like recruiters, we leave a lot of talent on the table. That's why the dating pool is so messed up. Rather than just meeting someone on a night out, having a few drinks and going, yeah, you're fit, we're suddenly screening people with a means that may not flatter them in the best light.
Exactly. And how are you going to learn about somebody's personality without literally having to talk to them? Plastic in the trash, please. Should I leave this mail? I think. No, I have not. Let's check that out later then.
Not to mention at the moment in somewhere like the UK, it's so expensive to go to university that only people going to university now are people that need to get degrees for jobs. Whereas back in the day, you'd go socialise, move away from home for a few years and get your end away on 3 nights a week. So even people at university aren't socialising in the way they were supposed to, because their parents don't want to spend £10,000 a year to send their kid away to uni for them to be getting pissed 3 nights a week. That's what university was back in the day. So not only are we seeing degrading relationships with food, rates of orthorexia going up, not are we only seeing social media making people feel depressed about the fact they don't have a six-pack, we're now seeing people that get depressed because they can't find a decent partner or someone to go on a date with because they're relying wholly on social media apps that are largely flawed to find a partner. It's very important that you're proactive in person, that you find good talent. Which brings us on to number 4, anabolic steroids. Alan Richardson portrays the character in Reacher, and I like Alan Richardson. I think he's a dreamy bloke. I watched the first 2 episodes, and let me tell you this, I could not stop looking at his muscles and his hairline. You seen Jack Reacher? Not seen him? Know who it is?
Oh my god. I don't know how Alan Rickman became the symbol for, like, men today or whatever. It's weird. And the fact that he says that he is clean, absolute bullshit. The Jack Reacher guy, you have got to be kidding me. No way. Agreed. Simple. I've known folks. Oh, sorry. Let me zoom this out a little bit. Agreed. I've seen simple folks and who end up being interesting to me, going anywhere or not. Where folks that at most would say are 8 out of 10 or above. Yeah, I mean, just decent people, man. I think that perhaps in my circle of female friends, do I have like a handful that are absolute banging? But that doesn't make them less beautiful. The rest, sorry, less beautiful. They are extremely kind. So yeah, Jack, you're a fake natty. Dude, I wish I was. Like, one of the best compliments I ever got was the first day that I went out on my competition. I had no one. I had absolutely no one with me. And by competition, I mean the first day that I competed for bodybuilding. Perhaps I can find it here. Let me see. I was on stage, and a friend of mine was recording the competition, and was just saying that I look better than all the people who were standing next to me. And the fun thing was that I competed as a joke, because I literally did not care about bodybuilding. I just wanted to be stronger in my fitness journey. So this guy was called Zaid, who essentially was a pro bodybuilder, went there, and his coach and a whole bunch from his other team were asking him if he was my coach, to which I said, no, obviously not. I'm just there because I had a bet to win. And I just got like a compliment that I was like similar to all the other guys who actually were in gear. So from that day on, I was like, dude, if I can be the way that I am right now, why bother? I competed twice, never did it again. Because that's past that one hurdle, people start asking you that you should get into the source. And obviously, all of them are. You cannot maintain the physique that they have without juicing. But I love my body and I love my heart a bit too much to engage in those kind of things.
Well, what do you do with your life? Crypto, you fucking waste, man. This guy's 40. He's jacked. And he's got a perfect hairline. So I'm like, look, I know you're getting a bit testy.
Perfect hairline.
So how are you keeping that immaculate hairline whilst running tests? How is this fair? He's been an actor for like 10 years. And this guy is top.
By the way, for those who don't understand quite what I said, dehydrotestosterone is the thing that causes male pattern baldness. Well, there's a chromosome that does that. We don't need to get into the details because the biology behind it is a bit complicated, but excess amount of testosterone, dehydrotestosterone, is what causes baldness. So, yeah, actually people who take gear tend to be rather bald quickly. So, yeah, funny enough, I still have my hairline. Never changed.
Percentile genetics. But the second this guy goes on a few hundred milligrams of test a week, boom! Men's Health want him on the front cover. What does that say? That you can be an elite man, look in a great way. The guy's like 6'2", very good looking, immaculate, but stick the guy on a bit of test, Men's Health go, now we are ready to have you to depict what fitness is to the people. Let me get the cover out. That guy. And this is the thing, it says, fit at any age, more muscle, more energy in every decade of your life. Jacked reacher finally gets huge. You got young dudes looking at this guy as aspiration. You're in the gym slaying it day in, day out, trying to be the best version of yourself. And you've got a living, breathing encapsulation that if you were to just add testosterone to your life and pin yourself forever, your career could take off.
Yikes.
Nice one, Men's Health. As if you weren't plebs before putting unaspirable physiques. Because you're...
Didn't they have The Rock on there? Like the walking pharmacy. It's about drive, it's about power, it's about how much testosterone I get in... I don't know, I couldn't finish that lyric. Yeah, they're not to be trusted. Just like anything else, they're just gonna sell you an image for somebody that you think is nice. But it's an absolute nutter.
The issue, Men's Health, you literally take the top percentile of what you call men that haven't eaten in a while, and you put them on the front cover of your magazine. There are real great men that don't have six packs. There are real men with great bids of health that don't have model physiques. And I just hate what your magazine is about. 6-minute ab routines. Hey, try this exercise. There's no periodization, no education, because if people actually understood the principles, they wouldn't read your shite. Oh,
long term.
Who's currently on cycle? Let's get a picture of him on the front cover. Plebs. Come on, bro. The number 5, the availability bias. And I know I've covered this in a few videos before, but in essence, the information that's available to us makes us paint a reality of the world, not really how it is. For instance, I'm here literally a few hundred meters away from the sea in Australia. Every time I go out and swim, my mind does the same thing as you, going sharks, but I'm way more likely to drown. Bondi Rescue made a whole TV show about people drowning at the beach, not shark attacks. But every time there's a shark attack,
oh, is he? Wait a minute. Was that a Baywatch reference?
that everyone knows about. Every time there's a drowning, no one cares. You can literally walk down to Bondi Beach and watch people walk into the ocean fully clothed with jeans on and get sucked into a rip, because the problem is I'm British. I can name 5 different species of shark, but I still can't spot the rip, which is where the water goes out, because I can look at the waves. And the thing is, say you're going for a little swim, you're like, oh, nice waves, nice waves. Oh, there's a little gap where there's no waves. Rip, swim in, out your depth, dead. It's the same as the lottery. You spend enough, this is you, mate. Crypto, mate. No one knows a lottery winner, but they see one on TV. So they go, oh my God, I need to do the lottery. And then they don't just give them the money. They get the person to come on TV, give them the massive check. Get out there, look at Trevor. Look at fat Trevor. He won 10 million. This could be you. They throw it in your face to make you feel like it could happen when statistically it really can't. The same as you with your crypto lot. You truly believe that crypto is your way out because you only subscribe to the people that have done well with crypto, because the tens of thousands and millions of people that lost huge amounts of money in crypto remain silent, which paints a reality of the world that isn't true.
Yeah, remember the video from, what's his name? Geopult that we watched on Las Vegas? How they keep on peddling people that have won the lottery, or at least got the big win at the casino over in Vegas, but don't talk about the ones who actually partook in that and are now part of the rat people living in the sewers of Vegas. Yeah, those never get mentioned. It's disgusting, and the thing is, they keep on doing that just for content. What conscience do they have? Why don't they care about the many lives that they are harming when they're doing all this? That's what I think is extra sad. How come a person like that sleep at night? Like an individual like The Rock, like he used to be a charismatic person, loved him on the WWE stage in his early days, but man, he's just become an absolute lunatic. He can't help himself from lying all the time. It is so sad. And like, why do you even have to do that? You have enough wealth to be living 1 million lifetimes already. Just actually do good and shut your gob when it comes to things that you don't master.
But every time you feel depressed about your stance on crypto, there you go and delve into looking for
Too much taxes. That's fair. That's fair. Today, Frost.
more information to back up your exist so you can feel like crypto is a smart investment. That check they use on TV doesn't even work. They go to the bank and the bank's telling them to piss off. And the only thing worse than social media of how it's messing up how we see the world and everything within it is the current state of misinformation on podcasts. And if you want to understand the downfall of modern podcasts, then you'll have to watch the video I made about it right here.
Oh yeah, I think that I've got to see a clip about that one. Yeah, that is sad. Because they do not care if it's them first. Yeah. Everyone else second. It's a weird rat race. It's not one worth running. Just take care of your health. Take care of the people around you. Try to strive for a certain level of happiness that you deem worthy. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Stop chasing anything extravagant that doesn't lead anywhere. If it comes, it comes. Appreciate what you have and live with it. What was that about a rock? Visiting Wendy's for the first time in multiple times. Wait, oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's lying sack of shit. I'm sorry that I'm cursing so much at The Rock right now, but my God. Yeah, it's my first time at a Wendy's. And he started acting, oh man, what an idiot. Always a stunt. The same thing with his movies. Remember the Black Adam peddling that he was doing? The promotion work? Like the movie was failing, the numbers were not accurate, but he kept on pushing that, yes, this is what we've been doing. Black Adam is so successful. Like, dude, calm yourself. Just admit that it's going bad. Because you fucking wrote in your contract that you can only be a good guy. Or at least you can never lose. You can't play anything else but The Rock. Yes, I am indeed a based individual. I'm a carbon-based individual. Yeah, unfortunately though, I should get a carbon base. That would make the joke so much better. Jesus, it's a missed opportunity. Yeah, they teased Superman in that movie and never did anything about it. You call Dave's on the struggle against things. Dude, I have a weird script now that you mentioned silicon there. Because somebody asked me about the whole thing about going to Mars. When I am done playing the Outer Wilds, because I've gotten so many requests for that. Man, oh, my schedule is gonna be fucked up, but I need to do it. Dragon's Dogma review next week. Next, I do my summer car because I've been so... I am so sorry. I have to apologize for so many people. I was supposed to be releasing that a couple of months ago. Haven't done that. My summer car, the Outer Wilds. And then I am going to make a video on why silicon-based things will not be possible. Silicon-based life form. The reason why I'm laughing so much about this is because there's been an adaptation of a book series called The Three-Body Problem that came out on Netflix recently. I watched that and it got me hyped up again because I read like the first 2 books. Never mind. It doesn't. It has no importance on anything. It's just a thing that I have in mind. I will get into it in the future. Anyways, what was the thing that we were supposed to do? Bricky, yeah. Sweet Lady Liberty. Should we check his review for Helldivers? The game that is so fucking good. Didn't they drop like a new class today? I think so. Let me see. Helldivers. The main channel. Yeah. Official war bond. Democracy detonator. That's the name. I'm sorry if I'm a bit too loud here on the mic. Let me lower my gain. What the hell? There. Much better. Demo man. I love it when companies actually capitalize on the things that we love. This is how it's supposed to be. It's time for bed for somebody. I mean, we only have so much time during the day. We want to try to play all the games, but we can't. I think that somebody made a calculation of how long you were supposed to live if you were to play every single game on Steam. And yeah, that's never gonna happen. I don't even think that I'm ever going to be finishing my backlog. Perhaps when I'm 80 or something. As a retreatee. sitting at a pension house or somewhere in the forest. If I actually follow my lumberjacking dream. I want to end my last days like my granddad, without the cancer. But yeah, he passed away because of cancer. But as a lumberjack, just in the forest, living the life, feeling good. That's my dream, at least. Anyways, to Bricky's Helldivers 2 video.
Democracy, freedom, justice, and our way of life. These things are under attack, and the only way we can stop it is to get swole. And I have just the thing. Oh, God damn it. Introducing Bricky's Muscle Girl Jug.
Okay, my copy's downstairs. I'm not running down to the girls. They have their moment there. He got a jug. I have a cup. That's fine. This is not... We are not ordering another one. Look. I've been having a bit of discussions recently with other people regarding the things that content creators sometimes peddle towards us. Such stuff as the bad stuff, like the Better Health or Hello Fresh. Some of these companies that are not worth it. But gamer subs, ooh, you are always reaching for the things that are dear to me. Muscle mummies!
That's right, the original Gamer Subs Bricky Cup sold so well, did so great, that there was nothing better to do than to put it on an even larger jug. 24-ounce cup is great, 32-ounce muscle jug is better, and it is available for 2 weeks only. That's right, if you want to put down your pre-order for the Bricky...
No, then I should have watched the video a long time ago, but I didn't want to compromise it because I didn't play Helldivers back then. Oh, okay, fuck. Hopefully he restocks.
Muscle Girl Jug. It is available for 2 weeks starting right when this video comes out. So you can make sure that you absolutely get your spots without any fear of someone snagging your place. It is a wonderful 32-ounce jug with the beautiful pink top matching the delicious sweet six-pack flavor I currently have inside. What do you think she's listening to? Rock? Heavy metal? No. I know exactly what she's listening to.
Yeah. Dude. That intro.
Put in your order for the Bricky Jug now. Link in the description at gamersubs.com/Bricky. And don't forget to use code Bricky for 10% off. And while you're at it, snag the sweet six-pack flavor available in both caffeinated and non-caffeinated. Democracy needs you, and democracy needs you big.
I mean, if anything, I think it's okay if they do limited edition things. It's environmentally safe, if that makes sense. Instead of overproducing something that's never gets sold, it's fine. Do a limited edition stuff. Only those who truly care will get them. That's fine. Wait.
How could humanity not be the good guys?
It's a Disco Elysium moment. I'm never ready to talk about Disco Elysium. And of course, he's using the racist to show it. You mentioned Starship Troopers, Helldivers, and satire in the same post, and suddenly your reply are so full of two. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, obviously, we get the joke behind it.
We're humans. Are you saying you're some fucking bug sympathizer?
What is the most frightening string of words you can imagine? I'm breaking up with you. Your father and I are getting a divorce. The DNA test came back. It turns out you're not him. I reject these sayings. I reject these statements. Truly, the most terrifying string of words imaginable is orbital 380mm HE barrage incoming on your position. You put another 380. No wonder you're so far away.
I gotta make sure people okay.
You know what? I'm taking this machine gun.
No.
Oh, I'm alive. You couldn't kill me, idiot. Which orbitals? No! Run, Mickey, run! He did it again! Garrett, you killed us all. You've killed us all, Garrett. I'm leaving. Garrett tried to murder all of us, and all he did was kill himself. Which orbital is that? 380s, 380. Run this, run, Mickey, run this direction.
Oh, there's mines over here.
No.
Who died? Ow! What'd you do? Garrett! I hate you, Garrett.
Welcome to the Helldivers Recruit. Today is a glorious day to spread democracy and liberty for the greatest race of all, humanity. Hey.
Yeah, I think that we have a huge problem with media literacy at the moment. Whether it is from satire, like outright to get people to understand a certain concept without just enraging them, but people don't seem to actually read between the lines. It is strange. We should have courses to educate people once again as to what is to be taken seriously and what is not, or sometimes that things can be actually mentioned and not be as, inflammatory as they think they are. Best shenanigans you'll ever see.
Hailing from the greatest planet of all, Super Earth. Many of you will die and die and die, but you will be doing so in the name of democracy.
Hell yeah.
Helldivers 2 released rather recently and has already blown up to a proportion that I don't think any of us were expecting, and the devs certainly didn't either. Helldivers 1 was a top-down shooter game released all the way back in 2015 to positive reviews, yet not overwhelming financial success. Instead of continuing with their top-down shooter genre, they moved to the third-person perspective, and lo and behold, 9 years later, they release Helldivers 2 on PC and PS5 for the retail price of $40. However,
something that actually makes sense. Sometimes I wonder why a sequel is just going to be, oh, we give you new levels. Great. Okay, did you actually change some of the mechanics? Yeah, we added one new class who does just about the same basic things. The other ability is just a little bit too flamboyant. Thanks, I guess. You need to have a certain amount of significant improvement to it, maybe, to warrant it being an actual sequel. Or just call it an update. Think of something like Sons of the Forest. When they finally went 1.0, it's not a sequel, it's just an update to something that they already had for quite some times. You not everything needs to be slapped with a sequel title when it's not worth it. A straight up change in perspective and for mechanics makes perfect sense here.
However, the game, from what I've been told, is a shockingly similar recreation of the original title. Truly, the only major difference is the perspective and a certain level of combat, weapons, enemies, and so on. But, from the most part, all the weapons and enemies you currently have, even the stratagem button combinations, are the same from the original game. Now, this is a 4-player co-op shooter, though I should really make sure to put emphasis on the shooter part of that, as opposed to the cooperative part. So don't pass my point.
I had so many samples on me, you better pick them up. Stalkers as well.
What did I do?
I could tell who that was. So I chose
Did I too? And you serve a true democratic state, a fascist, authoritarian, democratic state. But unfortunately, there are two factions that have opposed Super Earth's rule. The Tyranids.
No, not Tyranids. You drank too much of the Warhammer juice, Bricky.
The Terminids, who you originally kept at a cold population because their corpses make a lovely oil to help serve the democratic states. And we...
Oh, it's Battle Fooder. The best name for the... anybody. Jesus, welcome to the stream, dude.
Would never let them out and purposely send them onto other planets so that we could have a reason to farm more oil. That's some discussion you're gonna tell your democracy officer. And the automatons, socialist robots who hate liberty, who hate democracy, and who hate our way of life. Robots who try and convert our citizens and tell them that our government is evil and not actually democratic.
Why are the automatons killing the civilians? I thought they were socialist.
When has that ever stopped socialists?
Heretical, each and every one of them. And you, Helldiver, originally a position putting down human insurrection, have been tasked with dealing with these new problems. It should be made abundantly clear that the satirical nature of this game steals from every other major form of media, but with a particular emphasis on Starship Troopers and Warhammer 40,000. Now, naturally, I'm extremely 40k pilled, and my initial thought is to always say something steals from Warhammer, but I want to be clear, this is a very Warhammer pilled game, and it is intentional. Because, let's be honest, anyone who plays a lot of 40k knows that in a setting like this, we are very guilty of lovingly shouting out war cries for a faction I know is absolutely abhorrent. Unrelated statement, Ave Dominus Nox, shitlord. There's a good chance that you've seen Helldivers take the internet by storm, and I feel like I'm going to be here all day explaining all of those reasons why. But
yes, our favorite terrorist was on display. All hail the Night Lord.
Truly, this type of game is something that I have a lot of experience with, the 4-player co-op shooter. It's one of my, if not my favorite genre of video game, and even I'm shocked I haven't made my video on Deep Rock Galactic yet. However, there is a different aspect of this game that I think is a bit overlooked, and interestingly, it's a repeat of the internet's most recent video game darling as well, Lethal Company. Now, there are a lot of things Helldivers gets very right. The gunplay is satisfying, the enemies are diverse, the environments are quite beautiful, and individual things like voice acting and music are, at minimum, pretty good, and at maximum, outstanding.
Pod launch initiated.
Nice.
But much like Lethal Company, I think one of the real reasons this game has just sold so well is its smooth gradient between jokes with friends and genuine butt-clenching terror. When you played Lethal Company, things were all goofy and silly as you ran past each other, laughed, fell down pits, and the like, but the moment your friends were picked off and it was you alone in the complex, it went from comedy to horror almost instantly. Then, once that round was over, comedy returned after a cooldown period, rinse and repeat. In Helldivers, when you land on the planet, you have a huge amount of reinforcements. You're all setting up, joking around, and I'd be unsurprised if the largest amount of friendly fire occurred within the first 5 minutes of a match.
Wah. I don't want to fucking hear it.
Ow! Then, as your reinforcements dwindle and your stratagems are on cooldown and your teammates are screaming their injuries at the top of their lungs while you are being assailed by the binary in the trees, it turns into Halo Reach, current objective, survive. And it creates incredible moments like these.
Serpentine movements, Briggy, serpentine movements.
Oh, damn!
It's on me!
Guys, I'm trapped in the tank. I'm trapped
in the tank.
I'm trapped in the tank.
Look, if you're lucky, they can't shoot you down there.
You're correct. They can't.
Oh no, there he goes.
Oh man, yes!
Yes! You can do it! You can do it!
Boys!
Is he escaping?
Yeah!
Nice.
Let's go! And that's like really the thing I want you to leave with when this video is over. It's that the seamless blend between these two things, I think, is an underrated feature of a lot of very popular games right now. And one of the main reasons these two games have been popping off so much. We're just trading horror for intense final stands. Though, depending on the enemy...
Also, to see the content. Yeah, you know what? That should be a thing. For actually a funny game like this. It's like Little Company. People will jump straight on it. Starfield could never. Dude, Starfield does not get within a ballpark of any of this. And that is the saddest thing. That is the saddest thing. Imagine if they had the capacity that Bethesda has with the server management. Then the whole thing of me waiting a month to get behind this would have never happened.
It can still certainly be horror.
Never mind. There was no egg.
Not that I'm specially important here, but just saying for my personal case.
Is being murdered. Egg is fucking. Ah! That caught me off guard.
So, how do you jump into hell? Well, you complete basic training and you earn your cape. Then you get to board your ship and prepare your tools of destruction. First, your second skin. Armor, for the time of writing this video, has been bugged. So the rating, which I assume means defense, does not matter whether you wear light, medium, or heavy armor. The only thing that does matter is the current stats abilities that you get from it. And I have chosen the deluxe edition armor because it has 50% chance that lethal damage will not kill you. That might seem extremely
but it also has the most important thing. Drip. You consider your drip before you get into the battlefield. At least I do.
Powered, but you're going to get hit by so many individual attacks that it will probably kill you regardless. This is to stave off teammates from blowing a 380mm size hole in your face.
Oh, Ricky, you're gonna die.
Why you say that? Oh, because of the...
Oh.
Yeah.
But past that, I use all kinds of armor. Extra stims that we can use. We've got a great one that reduces explosion damage by 50%. Fantastic against the bots and your teammates. Then there's light armor, because moving fast is great. But let's be honest right now. It's for the drip, and I don't wear heavy armor because it's better. I wear this thick boy because I need the bugs to know who is girthier. Next, you need to pick out your liberation tools and democratic firearms. You start off with a very small arsenal, but as you can see, it will rack up quite quickly. Overall, every single primary does its job to a certain extent. The assault rifle is really good at putting down the bug hordes with clean, consistent firepower. The SMG is, of course, shorter range, but I would generally imagine having higher DPS. And the marksman rifle is just a solid gun for those who want to put down accurate shots. The problem with all these weapons, though, is that they are not the Breaker fully automatic shotgun. Introducing the Breaker fully automatic shotgun for when you want to obliterate an enemy's soul as well as their body.
Yeah.
Buy now! Once you have liberated your tools from the socialist weapon racks, you will then pick yourself a mission. There are 9 total difficulties in Helldivers, ranging from is basically a tutorial to what Suicide Squad felt like to play. There will be a couple of individual missions increasing.
I don't know how they're going to make that work though, while adding physical weapons, at least physical or melee weapons. And I don't know what they would be like. If they'll, it could be fun. Because again, it's a whole play on the Starship Trooper stuff, which has been the fundament for a bunch of other series. Warhammer, largely inspired by Starship Troopers, from armor design to quotes and whatever. What if they got them chainswords? Like their own versions, like plasma ones. But then it starts getting a little bit too Star Wars-y. But who cares? I mean, Star Wars has a very weird duality with making good games or good media at the moment, so fuck them. It doesn't matter. Just give us something nice.
in size, the harder the difficulties go. But once you have chosen your excursion, picked a drop point for you and your team, you may enter your hell pods. Now you may finalize your loadout and pick your stratagems. But these aren't the stratagems you know of. Put that CP reroll down.
Actually, that's a good point there with Melee Max. You know what? I made a joke last time regarding Lost Planet 2, which I'll call Helldivers 2, but if you were playing Helldivers in 2008, that game has mech suits that you can wear that have either melee or can carry extra large weapons. It's basically a similar concept that we have so far in Helldivers, but with just mech suits that can shoot, well, higher calibers. So that could be nice. I could definitely see that being a thing. But still, energy swords, why not? Armored Core X Helldivers. Not quite there, but yeah, the concept is somewhat similar on a smaller scale.
I don't want to hear anything about Armor of Contempt. These are pocket DDR weapons that range from offensive orbital strikes, backpack-mounted personal shields, sentry guns, heavy weapons, and most importantly, minefields.
Oh, I absolutely just threw an entire minefield right next to the civilian extractor.
Let's go, dance rebel. Why?
These are your special abilities you get to call in-game, and they will be the source of the most power and frustration simultaneously. Because once you drop, you'll learn extremely quickly that friendly fire is on. And in this democracy, we do not discriminate. It doesn't matter if it's your orbital bomb,
You fucking asshole.
your gun,
Oh shit, I need to aim better.
Yeah, that's the
Hey,
problem.
you gotta aim like this.
your Tesla tower,
Oh yes, the best.
You know that way.
Yep, I realized that.
or
Killing
even
all your friends
personal
with that.
drone. Every type of damage from every single source can kill you, and it is going to a lot. From there on, you're up to continue your mission. Doesn't matter what that mission is. Launching an ICBM, evacuating civilians, destroying enemy bases, whatever your job is, you are going to do it. But you only have so many reinforcements, and each death across the team is shared with that reinforcement meter. So giggling and laughing as much as you want in the beginning is fine, but when that 20 loses its cute little 0 at the end of it, things are gonna have to get a bit more serious. In between this, you can go on all kinds of other side objective excursions, whether it's the more official ones located with the big blue icon on the map, or any of the red danger zones that indicate enemy bases. Everything can be killed for extra experience, requisitions, and most importantly, samples. Collecting samples is a major part of progression in Helldivers, and they are located all across the map. But the moment you die, you drop them. So I would highly recommend that you don't give everyone all the samples.
I was in fact safe behind the rock.
You just... The samples are down there now.
Looking for them is easy too. They're randomly in bases with that big circle kind of symbol there. Sometimes they're common, sometimes they're rare. And if you want the super rare ones, look for the Dick Rock. That's right, the Dick Rock. Higher level maps have one, and around there are the big fancy special samples. These are important. Find the Dick Rock.
It's almost more like a lollipop rock.
I think I have a stroke.
What are you trying to say?
It's like a little top heavy, wouldn't you say?
Once your objective is complete, you evacuate and enjoy yourself a hot cup of liberty.
I don't know what
Then,
lollipops
with your
you're looking
levels,
at,
you get to
mate, but,
purchase exciting new equipment.
I don't see
The main
it.
source of progression through the game is this quasi battle pass system that goes through various panels to unlock new armor, weapons, and other aesthetic benefits. However, your requisitions will go into the thing that's probably the most important, which is new stratagems. There is a freedom load amount of stratagems out there, and as you level up and unlock new ones, you will be far better equipped for the higher levels and enemies you fight later on. For the most part, the earlier difficulties have basic infantry, couple of medium class enemies, but the higher you go, the bigger and tankier they are. Sometimes tankier, literally. So you're going to need some specific things for your fights. What's interesting is that Arrowhead Studios does not make the enemies have higher health or damage as you level up. You just get more of them and of a higher caliber.
Yep.
Good luck. So, what do you take with it? The heavy machine gun is a lovely thing you can have initially, but
perhaps you should be eyeing that autocannon.
That makes it feel great because even at the smaller levels, you get to enjoy the same fun that the others have. Well, of course, to a certain degree. Depending on how far your teammates are willing to carry you. That was one of my issues in the beginning, but I'm catching up slowly.
You can get at level 10, and trust me, you're gonna want the autocannon.
Hello? Hello? Who is this?
Dingleberry!
Oh, Jimmy.
Oh my god. That looked like Fairy Odd Parents there for a minute. It's a similar hairstyle, but yeah, Billy and Mandy.
Oh my god.
Got one tank. Well, it is very nice to have a large AoE orbital barrage to take down groups of enemies. You might be dealing with, say, an automaton producing factory. Wouldn't it be great when you're out of grenades and can't get close to instead use a precision orbital strike to take one out and not have to go through the process of throwing a grenade into a hole when 5 double chainsaw wielding communists are running you down? Perhaps you're doing a defense and you need to thin the ranks of anything before they even get to you. Well, enjoy the mortar sentry and enjoy the excessive amount of team killing you're going to do with that piece of shit. And for the simple-minded individual, the one that just wants to see thing go boom, might I recommend a lovely serving of upright down, 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 I'm not going to sugarcoat it, 500 kilogram bomb. There really are a ton
Get your
of
entire team to choose
that. Not just depending on the map, enemy, and mission type, but also how you want to build with your team. If you are, for example, doing a blitzed civilian evacuation where you need to hold a single point and have enemies swarm you over and over again, then having a large amount of defensive structures like minefield, mortar, sentry guns, and HMG emplacements is fantastic. If your goal is to kill 2 enormous bile titans, then heavy weapons such as the spear or perhaps the orbital railgun stratagems are...
Yo, the railgun is dope. I had a dude who was... what he did? He stood somewhere in the battlefield and kept on yelling our names. And we just kind of stopped. And he was like, "People, behold my child." And we all just looked up in the sky. And the freaking laser came out straight on our target. It was so dope. I don't know, man. There are just great moments here that, like, it's so cinematic also. That will just keep you hooked for hours.
Are super helpful there. Your build does not end with you. It ends with your teammates and your enemy type as well. And there's a reason why so much of it is both useful and fun to unlock. Can you tell I enjoy this game? I know most of you who are familiar with my general media taste were expecting me to play this game, and I mean, you're right. Helldivers 2 fucking bangs. This game is such a wealth of concepts and content that even now, over 20 hours into the game, probably over 30 hours now, once this video is actually up, there is still democracy I can unlock. There is still liberty that I can bring to bear. For the right to bear arms is not just a human right, it's a human demand. In fact, that demand is extremely present when it comes down to the enemies you're fighting. At the time of writing, there are 2 factions in the game, the automatons and the bugs.
Oh. Are they going to do it? Will they add in the 3rd faction from the first game? And when will they do it? It's not an if, it's when.
Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all! Yeah!
There is a 3rd faction on the way, known as the Illuminates or something. They're an alien race, doesn't matter. They're a threat to democratic society. At first, there was the common meme that fighting the bugs was funny Starship Trooper jokes, and then fighting the automatons was basically space Vietnam.
I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say...
But
while that is definitely the case in the earlier games, and especially on certain maps, I must say the bugs and the bots feel like they're roughly the same level the higher in difficulty you go, where the bugs just run you over with sheer weight of numbers and the bots end up utilizing higher tech enemies. It really just comes down to teching for the individual factions. For the bugs, you might generally get away with having a ton of anti-infantry close range weaponry because most of them are melee range. However, eventually you may run into some...
Oh boy, sweet liberties propaganda. I love it. Who do you think we're talking about here? They do not exist. We wiped them out. We killed them all.
Some awful communist ravioli bitches like the Charger here. And next thing you know, your primary weapons are doing diddly dick. Whereas for the bots, you actually might end up running large amounts of anti-tank, which is generally a pretty good idea. But then after reloading for 5 hours, you end up running into the 4 World Eater chainsaw Karn the Bot Trayer looking dudes shouting kill, maim, burn as they run you down. The correct build for both factions does not have you centered around one particular style. It's not anti-infantry, anti-tank, close quarters, long range. It's anti-bug and anti-bot. Now, I will say there is maybe a little bit too much of a reliance on anti-tank weapons as you get higher up in the difficulties, but that's generally semantics. And there are a few things that the mortar sentries can't take care of.
The true MVP. Oh no. What's the ministry have to say about this?
Welcome back, viewer. Welcome to the show. Today, we have a special newscast straight from Super Earth, where your family and friends are out far away protecting your freedom. But we thought we'd share exactly the horrible communist factions that they are currently trying to deal with and stop them from ruining our way of life. You have warriors, hunters, hive guards, stalker, I hardly knew her, the Taco Bell bug, Hank Schrader elevator, .gif. Kill these now, kill them now, kill them before they spawn bug holes, kill them now. And finally, the Hierophant Bio-Titan. It's literally a Hierophant Bio-Titan. Look, it's a Hierophant Bio-Titan. It's literally a Hierophant Bio-Titan. I own this model. Look at it. What's the only thing worse than a commie?
Boom.
A robot.
No. A child. God, I love this video so much. Whenever I see it, I'm always chuckling. A child. Fucking dumbest answer ever. Jeez.
Oh, you have troopers, raiders, marauders, commissars. They have a melee weapon and a pistol. It's literally a commissar. Holy shit. Karn the Bot Trayer, Scout Sentinels, Contemptor Dreadnoughts. My dad will send you to Warhammer Legends Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
Thanks. I don't have a joke for this one. And cannon turrets that hold a grudge even at 100 meters and 4 hours later. Individually, all of these enemies are easy to take down so long as they're, you know, alone. I made a tweet talking about how much I hate the bug chargers and how much they clog my milkshake. And everybody said, oh, well, it's just a couple of railgun shots, you know? Of course it is, you pretentious little communist. It's not about how hard it is to kill the one bug. It's about killing the one bug when the rest of the goddamn council is running at you. Killing a singular annihilator tank is in its own right not too tough. You get behind it, you shoot it in the grill, and then it blows up. Killing a singular annihilator tank when the World Eaters are running at you, you have an entire Hulk Scorcher up your ass. Now that is a different kind of cringe.
Dude, do you realize the testicular fortitude that you need to have to run into a battlefield filled with those alone? That's mental.
It's one thing to be nerd emoji, just use the rail gun, but it's another thing to put that into practice as the 3 Chargers, 2 Bile Titans, and 2 Mortar Bugs, they have those by the way, are running at Pelican 1. And right before you jump on, you get blasted, losing 25 samples and your dignity. In fact, speaking of the railgun this, railgun that, how about you rail some bitches? The maidenless behavior I have seen upon this democratic nation is saddening. Those that take a PvE game and attempt to optimize every single aspect to the point where if you're not running the breaker shotgun, you're not running the shield generator backpack, and not running the railgun, so you are therefore kicked from the game. Excuse me, Brotato, Brontosaurus Rex, you officially optimized a PvE game so hard you've turned it into a PvP game, and the final boss is dealing with you.
What? You are literally Everett Clare, sorry, and his brother. Look, freaking, I love the devs. They went out there and said, mate, we can have this meta cringe. Listen, There's a reason why we decided not to have first, no PvP, because we don't want your toxicity in there, okay? Second, fuck the meta. You're supposed to play the game. Find new ways to deal with your problems. Okay? Stop making it annoying for the rest of the players. I love them. I absolutely love them for doing that. And luckily for me, I haven't stumbled upon people who kept on asking to optimize a certain stratagem to get through things easily. We've always managed to go through solving our issues in a comedic way, and yeah, with a lot of levity. So props to the dev for doing that.
You are the Everard Claire of Super Earth. The only thing you should be optimizing is a path out of your house. I'm out here spitting out build upon build upon build. The Django Fett flamethrower. The civilians are enemy combatants. And supply guy Fry. The only thing you're spitting is communist cum, because all you know is quitter behavior. Liberty Prime already knew what to do with you a decade ago.
Better dead than red.
And of all the games, you chose the one that actually seems like it respects its player base. We got a live service game that doesn't nickel and dime us, where the price of Helldivers is equivalent to one skin pack from Apex Legends. This game is selling armor at about $2 to $3 a pop. In fact, it has broken almost all of the general rules of microtransactions, and yet we don't care. The armor you buy is armor that has stats. It has in-game benefits. If there is a set that's particularly good, you can in fact buy technically in-game power, but it's so cheap and you earn premium currency so easily that even if Papa Sony is upset that these are not adding an extra zero to their price tag, I think it's fair that we can spiritually say,
fuck the government.
The Alan Wake clip, perfect. I fucking love those clips. Look, it was kind of a similar thing that I brought up when it came to Dragon's Dogma, okay? Granted, I gotta say something. Just because a company has done that in the past, okay? Capcom has been known for always including microtransactions in their shit, even though the stuff that is accessible there is easily achievable and accessible. The fact that the game itself is good enough to the point where you do not care, and as he says, literally breaks the rules of microtransactions, is enough for us to ignore the stuff and not complain about it. Literally all there is to it. Just make a good game, that's all there is to it, and people will not go about making a whole fuss. Yeah, that is actually a pretty good screenshot material. Even with one of the brothers, the twins there in the background. Oh man, I can't remember his name for the life of me. But he did make an Alan Wake review, so that explains why he knows about these.
Helldivers as a video game is a collective success for the player in almost every avenue. The only slight this game has caused against other players is that the servers couldn't handle us. Truly, in a year where it feels like we're talked down to so often by publishers and the games they make, we have a video game whose biggest issue is people taking it too seriously. At every turn, this game is an incredible time and was developed to be exactly that. It's not just how fun the matches are and how exciting they can become. It's not just the seamless blend between slapstick comedy and lone wolf heroics. It's all the little things combining together. It's the hilarious physics engine that affects the player itself. It's the flavor text that you find throughout the battlefield and in the upgrades on your ship. It's the voice acting selling the combination of Delta Squad Specialist and then 5 seconds later, the screaming first deployment private. It's all the little things, and it's all the tools given to the players to make their own fun, and that there creates community. At the time of writing, we have just lost Malevolent Creek, and based on how the internet has spoken about it, it is akin to losing Cadia. As
yes, also another great feature that they added in there that is going to make the game extremely playable is that they actually, instead of doing a PvP thing, made it so that the cooperative effort by every single player actually amounted to something. As an example, a game that most of us were highly playing a few months ago, Palworld. How much of his audience do you think is left? I'm not saying that the game is dead. I want to say about 5%. Let me see Steam charts of Palworld right now. How many people have been playing it for the last 7 days? Oh. Honey. Excuse me for a moment, I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that.
as if it's a beloved celebrity that just died and it's carried with the same gravitas. And I'm not quite surprised when you saw what was happening up in orbit.
Hello, you've reached the Navy's automated phone service.
Squidward, the robots are running the Navy! Not the Navy!
And even though they brought it back, now the community is uniting against Joel, the game master, dungeon master guy in charge of the entire thing. We're not PvE or PvP, we're PvJ. And goddamn, does this whole game just seem like it's so damn fun. I heard from an anonymous source that
Hey, you're just agreeing with me. That's nice, but please don't turn off my mic. Okay?
Okay.
Don't do that.
Okay.
when they did team building exercises at Arrowhead, they built Warhammer tables. Like, you know, the ones where you build hard terrain, that was a team building exercise at Arrowhead, which surprises me zero because the game is so clearly ripping from Warhammer, but in a fantastic way. The only thing I'm upset about is how come I didn't get an invite to play on those tables? Arrowhead, come on, you know, if I win, all I ask for is 10,000 super credits and my name etched in the back of an armor set. It's nothing. Super Earth can afford that. But that's the thing, right? In Malevolent Creek, I want to fix it. I want to liberate Malevolent Creek for no reason. I don't get anything out of it. But this collective consciousness and silly, enjoyable roleplay makes me want to land back into that jungle wasteland for democracy. And
see, it's a game that is similar to the books Papa reads all the time. The Warhammer books. Remember those? No? Okay, no answer. That's fine, honey. But yeah, she usually tends to always want to hear me read the Warhammer books out loud. And yeah, I should probably not be reading them out to her because, yeah, she doesn't understand it, but it's fine.
Put those communist bots back where they belong, into the fucking dirt.
Welcome to Astalia, gentlemen. I will not lie. The chances of your survival are small. Some may even turn against your friends as living corpses, but you have my word that I will use my arcane gifts to ensure your bodies are given unto Morsgard.
Pretty wild,
this is the greatest reward, more than even gold, for the fate of your soul is an eternal concern. Now come, follow me. Strike down the undead that rise against us. Allow me to find this eldritch amulet. I ask not for my own selfish studies, but for the good of the Empire.
Hey there, late breaking update. And by late breaking update, I mean literally 3 hours before this video went live, they dropped the mech. They actually dropped the mech. It's in the game. It's the mech. And the servers wouldn't let me in for a long time, but I finally got footage of the mech. It's very cool. It's got rockets and a Gatling gun. And the rockets actually show you how many rockets you have left on the left-hand side. You can also step on your enemies. Wow! Helldivers 2 is a phenomenal success in almost every single avenue. If it wasn't for the technical issues of the game, I might rate it a 10. I think it is genuinely that good. And it's so exciting because the game has so many dials to tweak to add newer, crazier stuff. We apparently are going to be getting mechs soon, including NPC drops, extra troopers, all kinds of new content for this game. And because they can change things like stratagem cooldowns, like general ammo amounts, enemy variety, and so on, there is always something to tweak. There is always a way to make even the most ridiculous abilities and most extravagant explosions still somehow become balanced. When I heard that you can drop in your own NPCs, it took me right back to Modern Warfare 3 Spec Ops survival mode, bringing in your own troops. I will protect them with my life because
My Life for Super Earth. If you have not bought Helldivers, I genuinely think you are doing yourself a disservice. This game is phenomenal. It is currently my 2024 game of the year. Not that we have a whole lot so far yet, and I genuinely hope we get it on Xbox. They deserve to be a part of this. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Thank you so much for your support.
Xbox
Please
fanboys
purchase yourself a
always
wonderful
complain.
Bricky Muscle Girl cup. You know you want it. Link is in the description. Code Bricky for 10% off. Skater, play the funny sound effect. Great stuff, Arrowhead.
Yeah, it's a wonderful game. Good. All right. Hey there, Aaron. A bit late here, but yeah, Helldivers 2 is a wonderful game. Eventually, I'll get to play that as well on stream with you guys. But right now, unfortunately, somebody's having a stare down with me right now who needs to go to sleep. Right? Come on. So, before the Terminates comes and take away my little one here, I am going to, with the help of Sweet Liberty, go to bed. All right, guys. Unfortunately, no Internet Historian today because little one here needs to go to sleep. So, we might do this on Saturday, maybe. So, yeah, this will have to wait, unfortunately. So, priorities. Thank you for being here for the stream. And, yeah, gotta head out now. So, have a good night, everybody. Can you say bye-bye? Oh, can say hi-hi. All right. She doesn't want it. Oh, this so got scared. Okay. Have a good evening, everybody. Bye.